What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to Mark Carney's election victory speech. That's right. Right after you win big in politics, the next step is to just gloat. Really rub it in, But joking aside, I'm sure he has a lot to say here, and this is a really big moment for Canada. And as the election winner and Prime Minister of Canada, I think it's important to hear what he has to say. And I'm actually really curious here. So this is Mark Carney's first speech right after winning the Canadian election. So let's take a look. Carney. Oh. What? The Carney chanting made the video glitch out. There's so much Carneyism in the air.
That is Nepean. That is the spirit of Nepean behind me right there.
Nepean? Nepean? What does that mean? Nepean? The spirit of Nepean? I have no idea what that means.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening,
Bonsoir.
everyone.
Oh, quel bonsoir. C'est une bonne bonsoir.
What an evening.
What is it? Whoa. Hey, let's calm down here with the French. I don't know French. Do I need like a degree in French language to understand some of these Canadian politics moments? So he speaks French and English? Oh my God, that's impressive.
I have a question. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
Stand up for Canada. That's an interesting choice of phrase there, isn't it? Is he talking about like in a general sense? Am I reading too much into this? Is it just like a general political, like let's stand up for Canada? Like the values that the Liberal Party wants for Canada? Stand up for that? Or is it like stand up to the United States? Because when you stand up to something, against something. Because I know there has to be some references to America and Trump in this speech. Like, because I know that was a big point of contention in the Canadian election and Canadian politics. And, well, one of the big reasons I think that Mark Carney did so well and ended up winning.
And who's ready? Who's ready to build Canada strong? Okay.
That was like his slogan or what? Like his catchphrase? Acting like he's like from a comic book or something, a superhero, like his catchphrase. But yeah, sure, his slogan, Canada strong. Okay, it's a good slogan. All right, Canada strong. Who doesn't want to be strong?
Okay, we got that settled. That's good. Avant de commencer, je voudrais féliciter.
Whoa! Okay. As always with some of these Canadian political speeches, no offense to French speakers out there, but I am not one of you. I don't know what the heck he's saying right now, so I am going to skip when he speaks French. Sorry.
On their campaign.
Okay.
I want to thank the leaders of the other parties. I want to salute the contribution of Jagmeet Singh. I noticed his remarks.
Jagmeet Singh from the NDP. The NDP really did not do good. Feel free to go check out my reaction to the Canadian election. I spent all day and night watching that thing. It was like the Super Bowl or something. It was crazy. And I learned a lot about Canadian politics and the parties. And one of the things I took away was the NDP did terrible. There's no other way to say it, right? Let's not mince words here. Did terrible. Jagmeet Singh, he was the leader of that party. He didn't even get re-elected, right?
Leading on progressive values. Elizabeth May will be returning. Francois Blanchet.
Little bit of lag in the stream or whatever they did.
And I want to congratulate Pierre Poilievre on a hard-fought, fair, good campaign, his commitment to the country that we both love.
That's nice to see. That's on it. Honestly, like Mark Carney seems like a pretty genuine guy. I know he doesn't really come from politics, his background, which I think really helps him a lot. Because if you're in politics, like if that's your career, if you're a career politician, I think it becomes very difficult to stay in touch with like normal people. Then again, Mark Carney, he's far from just a normal everyday guy. But he was like the governor of the Bank of Canada or England and CEO of something and has all of these crazy degrees. And it's like, he's not an everyday guy, but you don't want some everyday schmuck running your country when you think about it. But he's not a career politician. He's actually done real stuff in the real world, which I think is very cool and comes across in him being more normal than a lot of politicians try to be normal and they just can't. Because when you live your life in that world, it just makes you a little weird or something. Anyway, so it's nice that he's congratulating the Conservative Party. I don't think here in the United States, whoever wins the presidency here in America, they don't spend much time congratulating the other party. There's a lot of animosity between the two American political parties, Democrats and Republicans. A lot of animosity and hatred, really. There's no other way to put it for a lot of people. So this is nice to see in Canada, being a little more cordial with each other. I don't know if he should be congratulating Pierre Poilievre too much, because didn't the poor guy lose his seat? How does that even work? You're like the leader of the Conservative Party. He didn't even win his riding, right? What happens? What even happens? He's not a part of the government anymore? I'm confused. Because he's the freaking leader of the party. Anyway, that's shocking too. So for the NDP and the Conservative Party, both the leaders didn't even win their seats. What the heck?
They all have many, many more contributions to our land.
Wow.
Thank
you. That's nice that he's able to speak nicely about the opposition.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana, for your work on this campaign.
Diana?
Thank you, Diana.
Who's
for
Diana?
the commitment and compassion you bring to everything that you do.
Who is this?
Tonight
Who are you?
simply would not have been possible without you
Wow.
and without the support of our 4 children who inspire me.
Oh, it's
to
his
service
wife.
Every single day.
It's his wife. It's his wife. Okay, apologies. It's his wife. That's very nice. Very sweet.
I also want to salute the women and men who put their name on the ballot from all parties. Thank you for standing up to serve our country at this critical time.
Yeah.
And for those who were elected, particularly those liberals who were elected, I am looking forward.
There it is. It's all right, enough schmoozing with the other parties. All right, you guys are fine, but the liberals, and everyone's yeah. It's all right, which, by the way, is fine, because that's its freaking party, and makes sense.
Forward to working together to deliver for Canadians. This says, Bruce. I'm Bruce, yes, Bruce Vanjo. I'm looking forward to working with Bruce Vanjo.
Who?
Fantastic. He will be a great MP.
Who? I feel like there's a lot of little Canadian references here that I'm just not going to understand. I don't know who Bruce is. Don't know.
We're going to have fun tonight. Yes, we're going to have fun. Bien sûr. Je tiens à...
Then he has to say the whole thing again. How does he even remember what he just said? The whole thing in French? That's impressive. This is just standard in Canadian politics, huh? You guys must all become bilingual by the end of it. Like, if you listen to this stuff all the time, it's like it's always the French afterwards. Which is cool that Canada has that. But again, I gotta skip it.
Canadians.
Gouvernement. You know, I chose to enter politics because I felt we needed big changes in this country. But big changes guided by strong Canadian values. Values that I learned at the dinner table from my parents, Bob and Verley.
Big changes. So, Canada has had a liberal government for a while now. Has it been like 15 years? And he's talking about big changes coming. Is that true? Because I hope he gets into it. I don't know if he's going to get into the details. Probably not the time or place for that, but it's like the Liberal Party has once again won and has the prime minister. And so I wonder how big these changes are going to, like how different of a liberal leader he's going to be.
And from my siblings, I appreciate this more in retrospect from my siblings. My siblings, Brenda, Sean, and Brian. Values that I learned on the ice from my coaches.
On the ice.
Values that have been reinforced.
Hockey.
As I've met with Canadians across this great country. And those include three values that I want to highlight this evening.
All
Humility. Right. It's Canada after all. Ambition. It's Canada after all. And unity. It's Canada.
Humility. Very Canadian. Ambition. And what was the other one?
This evening. Humility.
Very, very Canadian, by the way. And one of the things I really like about Canada.
It's Canada after all. Ambition.
Ambition.
It's Canada after all. And unity.
Unity.
It's Canada.
All right. Oh, and if they're going to like clap for like 20 seconds after, like, I get it's a political rally and it's this is literally their moment to like be like, we won and we're the best. I get that. In politics, that's how it goes. But if they're going to like clap for 20 seconds each time, I might skip that. Like, I get, okay, yes, they clap. Okay, I get it. Very good.
These are good values. These are Canadian values. Values that I will do my best. I'm just getting worked up here. These are values that I will do my best to uphold every day as your prime minister.
You got people like yelling out, by the way. Is that normal in like Canadian politics? I gotta say, this just feels different to American politics in a good way. This feels much more intimate. Like the people behind him are not on stands or separated by any kind of barrier. They're just literally like 6 feet behind him. Like all these people, and there's people in a crowd and yelling out, like joking. He's smiling, laughing. It's all very intimate and personal and like more casual in a way. And in American politics, you really never see it feeling like this. And it's funny because in America, like we think of our politicians as like little mini celebrities. Like especially Donald Trump is like become the uber celebrity president, most famous person in the world probably, with like the aura. And that's true for a lot of politicians in the United States, where it almost feels like they're not even people. They're like famous celebrity, like, oh. And they have bodyguards and ropes, and this is the Prime Minister of Canada, and it's just like people yelling out like, yeah, woo! And he's smiling, and I like it. I like this.
Minister, you betcha. Okay, well, you have to judge after this next section, because I am going to begin with the value of humility.
Okay.
And by admitting that I have much to be humble about. It's true. Over my long, that's not an applause line, it's just a statement of fact. Over my
He's also he is good at being live and like reacting to people as they're yelling at him and joking, and he is good at this for not being a career politician. He is good at this, like pretty natural. It's impressive. And he's talking about how humble he is, which is funny because it's like I understand it's a speech and he's got to like say this, but it's funny because it's like, if you how humble are you if you're like, I am very humble, I am the most humble. It's like, okay, all right. Are you?
my long career, I have made many mistakes. And
Or he said humility and being humble is like the same thing. Yeah, okay.
I will make more. But I commit to admitting them openly, to correcting them quickly, and always learning from them.
Okay, that's good.
Importance of governing as a team in cabinet and in caucus, and working constructively with all parties across Parliament.
So he's talking about unity. In America, you hear this every time, every election. Oh, we're going to be unified. We're going to go across the aisle. We're going to work together. And nothing ever really changes here about that. It's all talk. So I hope in Canada you do find this sense of unity.
Of working in partnership with the provinces and the territories and with Indigenous peoples. And at this time, it underscores the value of bringing together labor, business, civil society to advance the nation-building investments we need to transform our economy. Humility is also about recognizing that one of the responsibilities of government
Oh, he's still talking about humility. We're still on humility.
is to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best.
Ooh.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these
Wow. Whoa. This is kind of what I've been like waiting for in the back of my mind. He's talking about us. He's talking about me. No. It's like Tyler's going to take our land, like with my pitchfork or something. Like, no. But he's talking about Donald Trump and the Trump administration and therefore the United States of America. And this might be the most interesting part to me.
hope for the best. As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country.
And for a while, like, this was something obviously Donald Trump has been saying with all the Canada, become the 51st state. Canada, you're going to be so much better when I am the ruler of Canada. And it's like, for a long time, me and a lot of Americans were like, all right, it's Trump just saying stupid Trump things. He says lots of stuff that he doesn't mean or is just crazy, and he forgets about it the next day. And this is one that has come back quite a few times. This idea of taking Canada or asking Canada to join, and then if you say no, then what? Like, it's all very uncomfortable and very, yeah, definitely a thing. And you can see it's in Carney's speech here. Like, I think a lot of Americans don't even realize how uncomfortable this makes Canadians. And a lot of Americans don't even realize how serious Canada has been taking these threats. Because of course you would take this seriously, but for Americans, the threats from Trump, they're not threats against America, you know? Even if they're bad for America, we're not being threatened to be taken over. So a lot of Americans don't even put ourselves in your shoes and think about, what if another country was like joking but not joking, and then really, really not joking, and continuing to say like, oh, come on, be the 51st state, So this actually became a huge part of this election. And Carney's talking about it.
Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen.
Wow. Wow. I mean, there's not even much for me to say about it other than it's like sad that this is what America's been doing. It is true. And it's what Trump's been doing. And I don't know. All I can say is like, of course, this is the appropriate response from Canada to be like, stop threatening us. You're never going to own us. And we will, yeah. And we're proud to fight against you. And we will. And I don't know. America should be kind of more embarrassed about this rhetoric. The let's take Canada rhetoric. We should be more embarrassed about that than we are.
But we also must recognize the reality that our world has fundamentally changed. There is also, for me, as I stand before you this evening, humility in recognizing that, well, many have chosen to place your trust in me, trust in the Liberal Party. Millions of our fellow citizens preferred a different outcome. And my message to every Canadian is this: no matter where you live, no matter what language you speak, no matter how you voted, I will always do my best to represent everyone who calls Canada home.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing to say. Regardless of who you voted for or who you support or the ideology you believe in, it's good for him to make this part of his speech. I like that he's doing this and being like, I am the Prime Minister of all of Canada and all Canadians, and I'm looking out for you, even if you don't like me. So, yeah.
You know, during this short campaign, I went to Saskatchewan and Alberta a couple of times, even though, you know, we're Liberals. It's tough. It's tough out there. I grew up there.
Yeah, I saw that on the voting map, the election voting map in Alberta, Saskatchewan. It was like almost all conservative seats.
But I went because I intend to govern for all Canadians. And au cours de cette campagne, toujours Québécois.
Oh, it's like he just remembered, like, oh, wait, I gotta do the French.
La langue française.
Are at this country will development that continue.
Yeah, I feel like he has a lot to... It's like he forgot about the French part, and he's like saying the last 5 minutes in French. He's like, oh, crap. Or I don't know, how would you say it? Like, in French, you'd be like, un crapé. Like, oh, crap, I forgot.
Accountant for my government work for all.
Okay. As we come here after this most consequential election, let's put an end to the division and anger of the past. We are...
That's of course what you should say, and of course what everyone should hope for, putting division and anger aside. But it's like, as an American, like I know American politics, and it's like, there's no way at this point that the liberal and conservative party in America, Democrat, Republican, there's no way the anger and hatred and just disdain that has been built up is just going to be put aside. Like, that would be what's best for the United States, of course. But no. And seems like in the U.S. we only have two parties, really, in like practical reality. And both have become more extreme in different ways. And I was thinking about this, but our parties could almost divide into 4 different parties. It'd be like way left, sort of right, and way to the right. We could have 4 parties at this point. Instead, they're all together, and there's a big lack of unification, and I hope for Canada's sake, you guys, this is like more than just words, and this is what can happen.
All Canadian, and my government will work for and with everyone. I began with humility, but Canadians are ambitious. And now, more than ever, it is a time for ambition. It is a time to be bold, to meet this crisis with overwhelming positive force of a united Canada.
Yeah, this is good because, like, just running on the campaign of, like, I'm going to fight back against Donald Trump. And I'm not saying that's what his whole campaign was, but that was a big talking point. There needs to be more than that for Canadians to be happy. You got to believe that this guy, Mark Carney, is not just going to, like, defend Canada and be a shield, but, like, be an active advocate for growing Canada and Canadian values and Canadian success. And that should be a big part of this.
Because we are going to build, baby, build.
Build, baby, build. Build, baby, build. All right.
Throughout, not for, well, no, we're building now. We've gotten over that bit. Throughout our history, there have been turning points.
Okay.
Throughout our history, there have been turning points when the world's fortunes were in the balance. That was the case at the start of the Second World War, just as it was at the end of the Cold War. And each time, Canada chose to step up, to assert ourselves as a free, sovereign, and ambitious nation, to lead the path of democracy and freedom, and, because we are Canadian, to do so with compassion and generosity.
Nice. I like that. Nice. Like, I hope that happens. And it's well written, the speech. So far, I am impressed by the Mark Carney, by the speech, by the message. It's good. So, like, and he's really hitting everything he should. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't speak on what his policies specifically and his platform and the legislation he's going to pass. I can't talk about any of that. I don't really know that much about that. But just like as a guy up on a stage talking, who's the leader of Canada, seems pretty good.
Again, at one of those hinge moments of history. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. The system of open global trade, anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity for a country for decades, is over.
Wow. So this is one of the big sort of updates he's talking about is Canadian trade and Canadian success is no longer going to work off of or benefit from the United States. And what we have historically, the relationship we've had with Canada and the benefits we've given Canada, Canada doesn't want it, wants no part of it.
These are tragedies, but it's also our new reality.
Yeah.
We are over the shock of the American betrayal.
Wow.
But we should never forget the lessons.
But you're going to take us forward.
We have.
Okay. All right, lady, settle down. He's got a speech written here. That wasn't in the speech. That wasn't, maybe it was, who knows. Lady cries out randomly. Was that in the speech? That's funny. You can say it's a nice atmosphere where people feel like they can do that, but it's like, okay, the prime minister's talking, like, shut up for a second, please, for crying out loud. Yell that later. He's making some, like, really important points here about the betrayal of the United States. The betrayal! I think more Americans need to hear this stuff, like, because it really puts into context for me what Canadians really feel about the US, which is one of the things I'm most passionate about with all this. So the shock of the betrayal is over, and now it's just like time for business. All right, Canada first, let's go. US, move out of the way. And I like that he even says it's sad this is the new reality. Because I agree, that is really sad. Very sad. But the truth. And you can't just sit around and be sad. It's like, okay, time for that is over. Let's go.
To look out for ourselves. And above all, we have to take care of each other. When I sit down with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations.
Oh boy, when he sits down with Trump. I can't wait to hear about that.
Our full knowledge that we have many, many other options than the United States to build prosperity for all Canadians.
And that's something more Americans need to realize too. Let's be honest, like in Canada, the sad thing is Canada, you don't even want to have to do this. We basically forced your hand. Like, you can't have any self-respect and maintain a relationship with us, really. Unless some kind of miracle happens, like, I don't know. Trump clearly had it out for Justin Trudeau, clearly didn't like him, actively wanted to make fun of him. I think Trump has a lot more respect for Mark Carney from some of the things I've heard, and also just a lack of Trump saying rude things about Carney, like on social media. I haven't seen much of that. So maybe this is going to spell some kind of new relationship with Canada and the United States. I'm looking forward to seeing the Trump-Carney relationship.
Renforcer nos relations
in the French.
In Canada,
good here. Because this is Canada, and we decide what happens here.
A lot of this stuff, a lot of this speech is talking about like Canada runs Canada. Canada is for Canada and Canadian values and Canadian success. And it all relates back to this looming F the United States sort of idea.
We will need to think big and act bigger. Your phone's ringing. Sorry, just okay. All right. Just hang on. It's okay. Yeah. It might be important.
No freaking way. All right, for one thing, like, turn off your phone. Like, stop. What are people doing? I was saying, oh, it's great how casual this is. It's gone too far. This is too casual. People got their ringtones going. Turn off your phone. The Prime Minister's talking. Oh my God. It's gotten too casual. It's gone too far. Second thing is, Carney is really freaking good at this. He is good, really quick, like turned that situation from awkward to funny. He's a very go with the flow kind of guy. He never comes across as rude or out of control, but he does have like a presence of authority and wisdom. So I don't know. Again, I just got to say how impressed I am with him.
We will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations.
Ooh.
It's time to build twice as many homes every year with an entirely new housing industry using Canadian technology, Canadian skilled workers, Canadian lumber.
Twice as many homes. Okay.
Time to build new trade and energy corridors, working in partnership with the provinces, territories, and Indigenous peoples.
Increase trade within Canada? Has that been a problem? It's like, that's something that's never talked about in the United States. Like, we need to increase trade between the states. It's like trading between the states is brain dead easy. It's like no, it's not a barrier. It's like when you sell things to the United States, it's just like, yeah, we'll ship it where, like, you know, it's just not something we think about as a barrier. In Canada, is there something with trading between provinces and territories? Why does this need to be improved? Why is it bad in the first place?
Just good jobs, but good careers in the skilled trades.
Good careers in the skilled trades. How are you going to make... I always wonder about stuff like this. How is he going to create more jobs in the skilled trades? Like, how do you... I guess by promoting businesses and industries to create more jobs.
It's time to build Canada into an energy superpower in both clean and conventional energy.
Ooh. All
And
right.
it's time to build an industrial strategy that makes Canada more competitive while fighting climate change.
Okay. Tough to do. Tough to do, but okay.
We will build one Canadian economy, not 13, with a government committed to free trade in Canada by Canada Day.
Wow.
The point...
So he really is talking about unity here. It's a good word. One economy, not 13. Why is it so split in Canada? I didn't even know about this.
The point is that we can give ourselves far more than the Americans can ever take away.
Did I just hear another ringtone? Somebody's phone is going off again. Are people okay? Are people good? Like, can you get your texts later?
Is that we can give ourselves far more than the Americans can ever take away.
Wow.
But even given that, I want to be clear. The coming days and months will be challenging, and they will call for some sacrifices. But we will share those sacrifices by supporting our workers and our businesses.
He's also very honest, or comes across as honest. Like, this is... You never know with politicians, and he is a politician now. He's not a career politician, but he is a politician now. So when he says some of this stuff...
Those sacrifices.
Like, there's going to be sacrifices, there's going to be tough times ahead. It's cool to hear that he's acknowledging, like, not everything is going to be great. But is it just a tactic to get my sympathies? Well, it's working.
By supporting our workers and our businesses. Les défis
Okay, and we're on to the French.
will be a...
Confidence in
Canada is more than a nation. We are and we always will be a confederation, a sacred set of ideas and ideals built on practical foundations.
Okay.
That we know we're not always perfect, but we always strive to be good.
That's pretty cool. Like, I wouldn't mind hearing that from our president here. Like, we're not perfect, but we do our best. Like, you never, ever hear those words in American politics. So it's really cool to see that from Canadians.
We do things because they're right, not because they're easy. That we see kindness as a virtue, not as a weakness. Most importantly, we know that our strength lies in our resolve to work together as a country. It relies on our unity. You know, on the second day of this campaign, I went to Gander, where on 9/11, they welcomed thousands of passengers into their homes without question or hesitation.
Yeah. I know about this. I learned about this. A lot of Americans don't know about this, actually. This is an incredible story that happened in Canada, helping Americans in 9/11.
I sat down with two of the many heroes of the time, Diane Davis and Beulah Cooper. And during our conversation, they showed me a thank you card that they'd received from a young girl called Ellie, who wrote, "Your kindness motivates me to use my kindness." That touching phrase captures what Canadians instinctively know. That virtue is like a muscle that grows with its exercise. We become just by doing just acts.
Jeez. This guy's got the analogies, the hyperbola, whatever. He's got, I like your words.
Brave by doing brave acts. When we are kind, kindness grows. When we seek unity, unity grows. When we are Canadian, Canada grows.
Wow.
United over our history, we have done hard, seemingly impossible things. United, we have built one nation in harsh conditions, despite a sometimes hostile neighbor. Yes, they have form on this, the Americans. United, we have confronted our own past with Indigenous peoples. Unis, nous avons battu.
Talking about having difficulties with America, not just now, but in the past too.
Healthcare. And now, united, we have created universal public healthcare. And now, in the face of this crisis, united, we are buying Canadian. We are exploring everything this country has to offer. We are supporting our friends and neighbors in the crosshairs of President Trump through a crisis that we did not create.
A lot of Trump, America, hostile references in this speech. This was a big part of the election.
United, we will win this trade war and build the strongest economy in the G7, an economy that works for everyone.
Wow. Like, the way he phrases it, it's not like we will find terms, not that we will come to an agreement. Canada will win the trade war. You will win. That's very strong words.
Au cours des derniers mois.
Oh.
Art.
Canada will win this trade war. How do you, that stopped sounding French and, I don't know, starts sounding like German or something.
Fight.
We will protect our workers and businesses, and above all, we will build an independent future for our great country. A future that makes the greatest country on the earth even better.
Wow.
Together, we will build a Canada worthy of our values. We will build Canada strong, Canada free, Canada forever. Vive le Canada. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Whoa. Wow. I'm glad I took a look at this today. I think like 99% of Americans will never see this stuff, never know about this stuff, never really know what Canadians are thinking or Canadian leadership is thinking. I'm glad I took a look at this today. That was really insightful. Obviously, Canada is really laser focused on, for one thing, like distancing from the United States and not letting the United States get away with any crap. And then his other message was Canada is going to grow and prosper, be strong and unified. I don't know. Those were kind of the two big messages. And that's what it seems like a lot of Canadians are thinking about. And this is the guy you have to lead you. And after today, this is like the most I've watched Mark Carney ever talk. And I was really, really impressed with him. Again, I'm not talking about his policies or ideology. I'd have to learn more about that. But I'm just saying, like, as a public servant and a authority figure, and just as a guy, as some guy in Canada, to put it, for lack of a better word, he's pretty cool, likable, well-spoken, comes across in all the right ways. Exactly the kind of person you'd want as your leader. Like, and hopefully he is exactly what Canada needs. And Canada does have a lot of success with Mark Carney. I genuinely hope that for you. So, yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. If you're Canadian, what are your thoughts on Mark Carney and his victory speech and the future of Canada? That'd be really awesome to hear about from Canadians. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and learning about Canadian culture and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.